3:47 a.m. That's the timestamp on the email, not the email you sent, the one you received 11 minutes ago while you were still awake because you never went to sleep. The subject line reads, Model, Final V23, please fix tab 7. Tab 7 is a discounted cash flow model, 91 rows of assumptions about a manufacturing company in Dusseldorf that you have never visited, will never visit, and whose CEO doesn't know your name. Your job, right now, at 3:47 a.m. in Midtown Manhattan office building, is to make sure the terminal growth rate assumption in cell F91 is linked to the sensitivity table on tab 12, and not, as it currently is, hard-coded at 2.5%. A hard-coded number in a live deal model, with a partner presenting to the investment committee in 4 hours and 19 minutes. You fix it. You rebuild the sensitivity table. You recheck every single linked cell because you have learned in the 8 months since you joined this firm that trust is the only currency that matters here, and that trust is destroyed in a single Excel error and rebuilt over years. You are an analyst at a mid-market private equity firm. Your base salary is $110,000. Your bonus, if you survive this year, will be somewhere between $60,000 and $90,000. You are not rich. You are not powerful. You are a function, a precision instrument, a very expensive one, but an instrument nonetheless. The firm manages $4.2 billion in assets under management. You have seen exactly $0 of it. This is where it begins. 4 years pass, maybe 5. The ones who couldn't handle it are gone, to hedge funds, to corporate strategy roles, to business school with a story to tell at cocktail parties. You stayed, not because you loved it, because you understood, somewhere around year 2, that survival itself was the differentiator. You are a vice president now. The job description has changed in a way no one prepares you for. You no longer build the models, you review them. You no longer make the calls, you direct them. The grunt work, the 3:47 a.m. corrections, the pitch deck formatting, the 200-page confidential information memorandums, that belongs to someone else now. Someone who was you 3 years ago, sitting in your old chair. What you do now is manage information asymmetry. And that is the real job in private equity. Here is how a deal actually works. A company, let's say it generates $40 million in EBITDA annually, comes to market. The firm acquires it through a leveraged buyout. The LBO structure means that the firm puts in, say, 40% equity, roughly $80 million from the fund, and finances the remaining 60%, approximately $120 million, as debt placed on the acquired company's own balance sheet. The company now owes that debt, not the fund, not the GP, the company. The firm then has a 5 to 7 year window to grow the business through operational improvements, strategic acquisitions, margin expansion, and then sell it. If they bought the company at a 6x EBITDA multiple and sell it at an 8x EBITDA multiple with modest earnings growth, the equity value has potentially tripled. The fund returns $240 million on an $80 million investment. The management fee, typically 2% of committed capital per year, covers operating costs during the fund's life. But the real prize is carried interest. Carry. 20% of the profits above a preferred return, usually 8%, flows directly to the general partner, the people who run the fund. This is not salary. It is not taxed as ordinary income in the United States. It is taxed as capital gains, currently at a maximum federal rate of 23.8% versus the 37% rate paid on ordinary income. The carried interest tax treatment is not a loophole. It is a structural feature of the U.S. tax code that has survived every administration of both parties for decades. Now, the moral geography of the middle. This is where the decisions get complicated. When a deal underperforms, when the debt load cracks the company, when jobs are cut to service the leverage, the GPs still collected management fees. The limited partners, the pension funds, the university endowments, the sovereign wealth funds who committed capital, absorbed the losses. You, as VP, executed the deal. The analyst built the model, but the legal liability, the financial consequence, it follows the structure, not the humans. You learn this lesson once, you carry it forever. General partner, it took 12 years, possibly 15. You have a carry allocation in a $3 billion fund. If the fund returns 2x net, a reasonable outcome for a competent manager, the gross profit is $3 billion. 20% of that after the preferred return hurdle flows to the GP entity. That is $600 million divided among the partners according to a points allocation you negotiated 3 fund cycles ago. Your personal carry on a good vintage is a number that changes your family's relationship to money, not for one generation, but for several. But here is what no one in the Analyst program told you. At this level, the decisions you make are not financial, they are existential for other people. When your portfolio company misses its debt covenants and the lenders accelerate the loan, you decide whether to inject equity, negotiate a restructuring, or let the company file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. That decision is made in a conference room. It is made on a Tuesday afternoon. The 2,400 employees of that company do not know it is happening. The decision is clean on the whiteboard. It is not clean anywhere else. The GP lives behind several layers of insulation. The fund is typically structured as a Delaware Limited Partnership. The GP itself is an LLC. Deal-level investments are made through special purpose vehicles, SPVs, that legally isolate each acquisition from every other. If a company fails, the SPV fails. The fund continues. The GP continues. The institutional architecture is not designed for concealment. It is designed for risk compartmentalization. But compartmentalization and concealment produce the same outcome from the outside looking in. The limited partners who backed your fund include some of the largest public pension systems in the United States: teachers, firefighters, state employees. Their retirement assets, pooled into a fund of funds or committed directly, are the capital you deploy. The irony is complete and has been documented by every serious financial journalist who has ever covered this industry. The institutions that represent the working class are among the largest financiers of the private equity model. The system does not have contradictions, it has dependencies. Your calendar has no 3:47 a.m. entries anymore. Your decisions happen between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. in rooms where every person present is in the top 0.1% of earners. You have a car service. You have a tax attorney and an estate planning lawyer and a family office administrator who manages the SPVs that hold your personal assets. You have moved, structurally, into a different relationship with the economy than almost every other person alive. You are not separated from the machine. You are the machine. One morning, and you can't quite place when this started happening, you look down from the 43rd floor and you watch the lobby. There is a young person, 23 years old, dark circles, a suit that fits almost correctly, a laptop bag that is slightly too large for their frame. They are early. Of course they are early. They are checking their phone with the specific anxiety of someone who has received an email they cannot fully process yet. You know that email. You sent that email. Not to them, to someone like them, a decade ago when you were the one standing in the lobby. The email that begins, "Please review the model before the IC deck goes to print. There may be an error in tab 7. They walk through the glass doors, the security desk, the elevator bank. The machine has a new component. It runs smoothly. It will always run smoothly because the supply of ambitious 23-year-olds who want to understand how capital actually moves in the world is inexhaustible. The incentive structure ensures it. The mythology ensures it. The carry ensures it. The 2% management fee on a $3 billion fund is $60 million per year, enough to run the operation, pay the staff, and keep the lights on before a single deal closes. The fund cycle, raise, deploy, harvest, exit, runs on a 10-year clock. The GP has raised 4 funds. There is a 5th in the market now. The machine does not stop. It does not pause to reflect. It raises the next vehicle. This is not a story about greed. It is not a story about virtue. It is a story about architecture. The architecture of capital, how it pools, how it moves, how it compounds, who it serves, and what it costs to be near the center of it. You understand the machine now. If you want to survive the next level, if you want to understand how the hedge fund sits above the buyout firm, how the sovereign wealth fund sits above the hedge fund, how the family office and the shadow board and the offshore holding structure sit above all of it, you need to know how the rest of it works. Subscribe to the channel. The market opens tomorrow. Will you be ready?